extended my welcome to our respected President, Professor Fajol A. Taluk, distinguished speaker, Rucha Samir Desai, my dear colleagues, students, and participants. We are extremely honored by your graceful presence in this session on the business model canvas. Actually, creativity and innovation drives the economy and growth of the country. The government of India came with different visions like Atmanirbhar Bharat, Startup India, etc. in time to time to make India a self-reliant and entrepreneurs create a holistic ecosystem to facilitate an advancement of the development in the field of technology. Now, I would like to introduce Rucha Somit Madam. She is presently holding a managing director of the Rucha Meditech Private Limited, and her specialization basically marketing and human resource management. She works manage audit and supply chain management. Company managed to maintain a customer-based service over 300 hospitals and 15 pharmaceutical companies. Thank you, madam, accepting our invitation. Now, I would like to request the President Institute Relation Cell, Professor Fajol E. Talukdar sir, to address a few words in this session. Over to you, sir. Fajol sir. Sir.
Good morning, that means everyone. Respected Dr. Desai, that means who has that means agreed to that means speak in today's that means business canvas model that means 1.0. My distinguished colleagues, that means Dr. Vera, then Dr. Devgare, then Dr. Vipul Das, and Dr. Naresh Babu. Distinguished that means the participant, that means we have joined that means from various organizations. Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome on behalf of the institutions that means the innovation cell in that one day that means the event on that means the business model canvas. So, Madam Desai will that means surely that means elaborate very that means explicitly what are there that means in a that means the business model canvas. Just that means what I am that means going to tell you is that there are three terms that means which are there in the that means the business model canvas. The business should be that means seen as something. If I just quote C.K. Prahlad, one of the that means the very that means a well-known that means a management guru. Business is the business of business. You cannot have that means anything other than that means that. Business is the business of business. By model, what you can say is that means we need an abstraction where that means whatever we are going to do, how do we that means represent the state before an audience or before that means the perspective that means your investor. And third one is that means the canvas. How do I that means reflect the same before the audience, before my investor, before my that means your customers. So all these things will be discussed that means very elaborately by that means Madam Desai. And the persons and the participants that means who attended had that means last lecture that means in the month of that means December. Must have that means observed that she is a very eloquent that means speaker and she can speak hard that means the mind. And that is one of the reasons that means I congratulated during her that means the last that means the presentation. That she was that means able to speak the truth, which that means many of the business leaders are that means afraid to speak, but they that means always do this kind of thing. On behalf of the institution innovation cell, National Institute of Technology that means the Silchar, I welcome that means Madam Desai in our that means the campus virtually, and the way I extended her invitation in the month of December that means for a physical visit and interaction with our that means the prospective startup that means the owners as well as that means the entrepreneurs. Still that means the why that means the invitation and hope that that means in future she will be that means in our campus and we can have that means a very fruitful discussions. I also that means welcome all the participants in the event and I request every one of you to go for that means the active interaction So that those that are planning to set up a business or to initiate a startup can get that means a lot of benefit by interacting that means with her. And she is a person that means who is through and through that means a business leader who knows that means how to initiate a business, how to that means lead a business, and how to that means sustain that means the business. So with this one again that means I welcome that means Madam Desai, and that means hope that means she will interact with our that means audience, and through that audience through this interaction everyone will that means get or derive that means an immense benefit. So thank you all. Over to Dr. Bera. Over to Dr. Bera.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for your motivated words. Now, I would like to request Rucha Samir Desai, madam, to start her session. Thank you, madam.
Yes, sir. I'm just starting.
Yeah.
So meanwhile,
Madam Desai,
everybody can share this video so that we can have the photograph.
Madam Desai, only thing
Yes,
is that
sir.
our director will be joining that means around say 15 to 20 minutes, and he will just
No problem.
interrupt you that means when he joins, and he will speak for that means only 2-3 minutes, and then you can that means
Definitely.
yeah, okay.
Definitely, sir. Definitely. Sir, Ashish, sir, you were saying something?
Yes, I think everybody is requested to please turn on your that means video for
Sir, we
screen
can take
capture.
the photograph later, na, when that happens.
Okay.
No problem.
Yeah.
Madam, I think you can go ahead, madam.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I would thank Talukdar sir for giving a very vast explanation about me. Being in the business now and away from the academic line, we don't get to hear all such big stories about ourselves because we've left a lot of education behind us now. It's more about, as he said, business of business of business. So coming back, it feels like going back to step one. So I am glad that I've been invited again to speak here. I will be very happy if the participants can take something from whatever presentation I'm making, because like I made a decision about 11 years back. There would be many who would be worried whether to take this step ahead or not, and I hope that they find it interesting and take the plunge. So I will start with a brief introduction about myself. I have done my computer science engineering from Hyderabad, from Srinidhi Institute of Technology and Sciences, and post which I did my MBA from Mumbai University, and then was placed in HCL Technologies Noida, where I worked for some time as a management trainee. And after which I came back to assist my father, who already had a company called as Rucha Chemtech, and which was not 100% into what we are doing today. Maybe it was about some 5 to 7% of our business line. So he was more into the services aspect. So that's when what I am doing is basically a product aspect, and that's how we grew it. And today we are focusing exclusively only on the medical and consumable distribution supply chain. Now, very frankly, I'm coming and I'm showing you certain things which are totally different from what is what is your core subjects. I mean, supply chain of medical products. So, okay, as a person who's interested to do business, it is anything. I mean, बेचने वाला होना चाहिए, कुछ भी बिकता है types. But when I'm considering technological startups and all, I'm zero in it. I have no knowledge about it. So this will maybe bring you a different perspective onto supply chain management, how we started and how we are going ahead about it. Now, when I had joined, what was the perception of entrepreneurship? Now it is called startup, the very, very niche word that is being used in circulation now. But the earlier idea was, अरे job नहीं मिला होगा, इसलिए business join कर लिया बाबा का, वो अच्छा है, तो must not have studied in a good college, so अच्छा placement नहीं मिला होगा, companies नहीं आए होंगे college में अच्छे placement के लिए. So this was the general trend and perception of people. Even I have faced the same thing in the past. That's when some things that I've made clear to a lot of people earlier, now I have stopped even clarifying. That is, I have left a corporate job. I had the passion to do business. My father was a first generation entrepreneur. So I was very inspired by his way of handling things. And very frankly, I'm here only by choice and not by force. So generally, whenever the government releases a plan saying that you need to, want a startup to be created, they will ask you to submit a business model ROI plan. Yes, it is important to a lot of extent, but not the only thing and not the main thing either. What is on paper, translating it into business is a total different story. So according to me, a business model ROI plan, in how long will you get back your investments and all. If you consider the last year situation of COVID, for people who have just started and the COVID hit, just imagine about their ROI plan calculations. So according to us, basically, the most important business aspect for any business to survive is funding, finance, and your product's longevity, your product's effectiveness, and your understanding of the product. So finance 100% first thing, because to some extent you can initially you can depend on loans, you can depend on angel investors, all that, but basically after a point of time, it is about how your business is starting making the revenue, because loans and all have an interest. It has an EMI based option where you have to pay back, but your own funding capacity, how much investment is required and all, is very important for any business to survive. So considering what are the important elements for any business, I have zeroed on.
Madam, you are not audible. Bera sir.
Yeah, I am just calling madam actually. I am informing madam. I think madam is trying to connect.
Okay, okay.
Sir, if possible, you can text the message. That will be better.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Becomes very important. How much you need to invest in your stock, how much you need to keep for the working capital. So all these things play a lot of importance. Then if you are not having your too much of your own funds, then when you're depending on external funds like as bank loans or some investors in your internal family, then in which thing you need to see what is your repayment capacity to them, how fast you can repay, and also if it is taken on some interest, is it hampering your working capital. So initially we have also started with, my angel investor was my father initially, because he had invested something around maybe the 40,000 rupees into my business, which 11 years back, because it was a very small stock system that we had. Today we hold stocks almost worth 1 crore. But yeah, that time it was that was my angel investor, and because it's my dad, I didn't have to pay him any interest. But generally, if it's a bank loan or some other investors from the family, you definitely have to see that how the EMI is going to function. Cash flow management is a very big challenge in the industry that we are working in. It's a medical healthcare industry. The payments, the credit periods are very bad. If you think generally, if any healthcare is what we are talking, people think of medical shops or hospitals. And in such a situation, when you pay cash, you get the service. You pay cash at the medical hall, you get the medicines. You pay cash in the hospital reception, you get the service. But that's not what it is when we are talking about the supply chain management behind the healthcare industry. I mean, the basic things that are needed for any hospital or a pharma company to run. The credit periods are very bad. There are certain clients of mine, maybe about 20-25% of my clients, who would pay you in maybe 30 days. But then there are also clients who don't pay you for 6 to 7 months. So that kind of management that you have, that how your fund is going to rotate, anticipation of delays that are there, plus anticipation of stock that is there, all that plays a very important role. So cash flow management and working capital, apart from your investment in stock, gives a major breakthrough for any supply chain management to function. Again, you need to keep reserve funds. There are situations like a recent one in which we needed certain emergency material which we had to get, and all of a sudden, okay, the guy from whom I have brought has given me some credit period. But then there are also other government kind of payments that you need to do. GST can't wait. Custom duties can't wait. So all these periods, you have to have some reserve funds in hand, because without this, you will not be able to get the material into your warehouse. So basically, reserve funds for emergency is always needed, especially in supply chain management, because again, as I said, it's a very stock intensive market. Bargain on credit periods. I mean, credit periods with hospitals is again a task, but also with the suppliers, because suppliers initially don't give you credits, but as you develop and have a disciplined relationship with them, they may start extending you a lot of credit periods. So on that aspects, you can consider that my father used to always say, you can't control the selling price, but you can control your buying price. So buying price, you can bargain. So definitely try to bargain on the buying prices and also on the credit periods that you get. One more thing, last one, what I've highlighted here is government policies. This is a very simple example. Like earlier, we used to have the VAT, the value added tax structure, which was like 5%, 14.4%, all that. Now things have changed into GST. In GST, you have all the taxation based upon HSN codes. Earlier, HSN was never making such an important part around 5-6 years back. So now GST has become the prominent thing, and in which a small thing like, for import goods, the custom officer, on based on the what HSN you have declared, like clarifies it with what he has in his record. So if he is putting a question saying that no, this doesn't come into so and so, you need to put it into another HSN code, your GST percentage changes. Hospital industry as such does not get any input credit for GST, because they are into services sector and this is a product sector. So in such an aspect, in a recent example that I faced was that the GST of some of my products was changed from 12 to 18%. So it's a 6% different. 6% difference for a hospital is a 6% increase in prices. So hospital is starting to compare with your other competitor, and he says that no, the competition is still offering at a lesser GST. So you reduce your prices. So somewhere these government policies are definitely going to affect your profit percentages. So you will have to keep sufficient margin for all such uncertainties that are a part of business. So finance, definitely lot of aspects into it. Apart from funds, policies and all, that's when if you have the complete circle, then only you will have a good hold on your finance. Coming to time management, as earlier said, in any kind of a startup, in the initial 2 to 3 years, you are going to be doing everything. You are going to do right from the CEO's work. I remember making my own bills. I could not afford an accounting software at that particular time. So initially I had made my invoices on Excel, and Excel, we used to take prints and make it. But it is now when we have started using softwares, I realized that making a bill in Excel sheet is such a tiresome process. But then, having said that, at that particular time, it was very much required that we have to proceed from the handwritten bills to the computer generated bills. So whatever resources are there at your disposal, you will have to work with them. So smarter working is better than harder working. And you will have to start developing your team from the initial part. I have a few members in my organization now who are 10-year-old. I have two 10-year-old employees. I have three 5-year-old employees. So these people have been with since a long time. So now they are much more trained into the entire system. They know how things are working. And as a person, as an entrepreneur, you also need to understand that you can't do everything on your own. You will have to start delegating things. You'll have to train them and delegate it to them. If you start doing everything, you will not be able to reach. Maybe I would not have reached this high number of hospitals either if I would not have started delegating things. So we need to see that a procedure is set up, because if a procedure is set up, then the thing will be followed up again. And for that, initial training is very essential. One of my auditors always says that concentrate on your core competencies. Don't try to do everything. Again, coming to the same point as to don't try to do everything, just concentrate on your core competencies. So now we have started doing that for stock management. For a stock management, we have a stock management software. Then we have a person who's completely into the stock analysis. Then for accounts, we have two different people. So now we have started developing our departmental precision, and in which we have started employing people who are having their core competencies in place. So it is not required that you start doing everything. Initially, yes, you will have to do it, but slowly you will have to train, delegate, and highlight and identify the core competencies. Time management, initially, it's not point even that you take all, okay, in so and so city I have like maybe 100 clients. It's not going to be possible you're going to reach 100 clients. Never it is going to be possible, except that you are not always going to be able to eat the entire cake. You are going to have only a part of the cake. There are competition existing, and I think competition makes and gets out the best in us. So have your goals. Set your goals. Like suppose I have a weekly goal, I'm going to visit so and so number of clients. Monthly goals, conversion goals. So on that thing, set goals, maintain a diary. Earlier I was making this fault of not maintaining a diary. Human beings minds are not computers, let's accept that. And we try to remember a lot of things, but at the end when the pressure increases, we definitely forget things. So maintaining a diary for weekly and monthly goals, what is there, checking what you have attained, what has to be transferred, makes a lot of difference. small aspects, but maybe it's like, you know, when I'm telling this, it must be feeling that okay, diary kya maintain karna chota hai, but trust me, it is one of the basic fundamental of any business, that though you can enter it into your computer, in your mobile, but still the kind of thing which yet the pen and the paper has is really different. Now, earlier, as I told you, I'm a computer engineer, and I had never thought that I would start selling medical products. So, as a marketing person, I will often always say, you know, कुछ भी बिकता है बेचने वाला होना चाहिए. So, in that aspect, people have, in supply chain especially, it is more to do as to the concept selling. So people have altered their career paths because they believe in certain products and certain services. They've been successful. So marketing becomes very important. Your product becomes very important. So in our case, one of the major reasons why I got into the healthcare is, as I told earlier, my father's about 5 to 7% of the business was already this. And I found it interesting because we are more into the infection control line. So I find infection control a very interesting subject, because that is something that also, again, in the last 1 year, everybody has understood a lot, that how much of cleanliness and maintaining your own hygiene plays a lot of role. So in our thing, that's the reason, one of the major reasons out of choice, that I chose healthcare industry. So for any people getting into entrepreneurship, they need to understand, first identify what is your right industry. What do you feel you will be able to connect with? Because if you're not able to sell it with passion, then your interest decreases after a point of time, because you're never going to get success initially. It is going to be a slow process. So if you believe in the product, you will be able to withstand. So identifying the right industry, identifying whether your product is solving the problem, after it is solving, whether there are any additions that can be made to it, upscaling, downscaling, what are the longevity that your product has. Longevity, last year I have seen many people coming out as entrepreneurs in healthcare industry. I mean, a stationery shop close to me also was selling PPE kits. So PPE kits, very frankly, there are a lot of guidelines which the government has issued, in which they have said that it has to be made as per some particular GSM, and how much of the porosity has to be there and all. But people, and in a very cost conscious country like India, it is not really possible to have all those standards, because widespread population, widespread shortage of income. So because of which people started selling. But then, as I told, PPs were also sold by stationery shops here in Hyderabad. And what I identify is there are people who started manufacturing PPs also, who were into the tailoring business. Because you just take the fabric, cut it out and sell it. Right now, at the peak time in about July, August, even we have sold about 10,000 PPs per month. Right now, in the past month, I don't think we have sold even 500. Sanitizers is the same story. At the earlier July, people were dying to buy sanitizers just to store them, stock them up. Today, sanitizers are available everywhere. I'm not talking about quality here. I'm talking about the quantity of availability, in which you need to understand that if you are setting up a manufacturing for any such thing, just identify the longevity of the product. How long this is going to sustain? What is your competition that is going to affect you? In our MBA terms, generally we have the SWOT analysis: strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. That will really help you to jot down what are the points. It will really help you to know how strong you are able to position your product in the market. Manpower management. point earlier, which I said that, you're doing everything, but also when you're coming to employing your people, see, initially, because of the fund crunch, you are not going to be employ huge workforce, neither quality workforce. So whatever is available with you, with that budget, you are trying to fit in the people that you have also. So deprived budgets make a big challenge for a huge workforce. So when I've started initially, I think I had just one delivery guy. Today we have 6 delivery guys. But one delivery guy was not quality. When he wants, he will come, because he was never loyal to his job. This was just, but whatever he was demanding, the money, I was able to pay that. So in that aspect, it's like, your budget also makes a lot of effect on the workforce quality that you have. So today, I have a team in which people are qualified, and they are into the same line of business or have experience for quite some time. So the processes become easier. They are getting some experience with them on the table, but that was not the point in the earlier stages. So any startup or any entrepreneur needs to remember that initially budgets are going to face, like, budget, because of these budgets, you're going to face a lot of problems in terms of your workforce also. You need to also value some people, like, as I told you, I have certain employees who are quite old, and very frankly, I would not say they are quality employees. Two of my employees which are very old are not quality employees. But then there are certain other things which you need to identify as an entrepreneur. This is more as the integrity, the genuineness, the passion with what they are working for you. Maybe they are slow, maybe they need time to understand things, but then apart from a commercial perspective, you will need to hold your workforce together. I had a professor in my MBA who always said that leave specializations. You're doing marketing, you're doing finance, you're doing it, you're doing operations. At the end of the day, after 5 years into your work or your job or your business, everything comes down to HR. Everything comes down to people management. Everything comes down as to how effectively you're getting out the work done from people. So you will see that after a point of a time, it is this people who you are depending for your success. So having nurturing these people also becomes very important, and managing them, giving them soaps. Like earlier, we now have insurances for all our staffs who are on field, because they are mostly on the two-wheelers for delivery aspects, from sales and marketing aspects and all. So kind of incentives to them. So this becomes useful. Last point which I have mentioned here is choose wisely, whether it's a loyal or a smart worker. Both have its own advantages and disadvantages. A loyal worker, as I told you, will stick to you, will give you the right information, will be ready to do any work or any time work that you say, because we are in a healthcare industry. Again, we have a lot of emergency supplies to be made at times. So in such an aspect, a loyal worker becomes very, very important. Smart worker is such a person who can also be dangerous, but at times when you need to have fast work, he will definitely be useful. But then once your company grows, you need to remember that your data is no longer your company's data. Your company's, like in our case, our price lists, our technical information is no longer just to you. You are spreading it out. So the risk of things moving out of your system also exists. So you need to see that you are nurturing them in such a way that they are definitely loyal to you. Having said that, it is not that I've never faced these things. I've definitely faced in which some smart people, extra smart people, have troubled. And I have also faced that at some times the smart people have been really useful in situations where I needed some fast work and all. So you need to have a proper manpower management so that overall it gets on a positive way. Stock management. Stock management is something which is very crucial to our industry or any industry which is product related. Our industry, why I said is healthcare, yes, emergency supplies are there. Apart from that, about 50% of our goods are imported. And in that situation, if you need certain thing immediately, it is not possible. You have to have stock in hand almost for like 1 month, minimum 1 month. And in the last year's situation, thankfully the cargo planes didn't stop operating, but they were reduced in number. But otherwise, maintaining the stock is very important. But again, excessive of stocking is also bad. So right now, in our case, we keep having this story in which we keep checking the expiry dates, because once expired, whatever your investment is gone. I mean, nobody would like to take any expired stock because they're paying for it. And you need to see how the liquidity of that needs to be done. So how much money you're investing in the stock, the efficiency that is there with the stock becomes very, very important. In this, one aspect that we see is the customer and vendor relationship. If the customer relationship is good in terms of crisis, like when around 6-7 months back, one particular product was in too much of shortage. So in that particular time, because we had good relations with our customers, so they cooperated with us. They knew the situation was bad. They knew that we are not lying. The trust was there. So definitely a customer relationship in any business or a startup makes a lot of difference. Reorder level management, again, as I said, because it's an expiry date product and all those things, and there are certain products which are shorter expiries, certain products which are longer expiries. So that management, non-moving stock management, again, as I said, because of the customer relationships with non-moving items are there, needs to be informed to your sales team, to your customers, so that some kind of activity starts in that thing. The last thing that I told you is movement analysis. We do a lot of movement analysis almost every month, sometimes even twice a month also. It helps us in two ways. One, to understand stock, and once for marketing also. Because in marketing, it lets us know which product has stopped. Because right now I'm doing 123 products. So 123 products to remember for almost about 300 hospitals is very difficult. So we have an inside sales team in which they are doing a lot of movement analysis as to which product is moving where, which kind of upscaling can be done, and what is the consumption pattern. The same data is fed into the stock team so that they can manage their stock order levels. So as you see, there is after a point of time, there is nothing like also individual departments. Everybody starts working in collaboration with each other, because the output from one may be the input to the other. That's why. So these are the key elements for growth. In supply chain, supply delays are very common because you are depending a lot on third party. Like when you're importing things, it's about the freight forwarders, it's about the CNF agents, it's about the custom duty officials, custom department overall, the air people, and people sending the stock. So a lot of supply delays happen. Even in India also, we whatever we are procuring locally from India, in that situation also, during the COVID time especially, the all operations of cargo had stopped because the highways were blocked and all. So in that thing, we face this supply delays. So okay, COVID is a very exclusive situation which happened only last year, but generally over this period of time, you need to understand that definitely there will be certain supply delays for which you will have to be pre-hand prepared. Payment delays also. Again, in the initial part when I told you payment delays, there are like hospitals being my major focus. Every hospital has a different credit cycle. So generally, if you consider any hospital situation, they will pay you in the last week of the month. So suppose because of some fund crunch, they have not paid you in the last week of the month, it straight away gets shifted by 1 month. They will not release it in the first week or the second week. So that particular thing where payment delays happens, and that is one of the major reason why I told you reserve funds are important. Reserve funds is something which I consider is different from working capital. They are just your emergency contingency plan. So in this aspects, payment delays is very important. Government reforms, as I told you, GST change recently, it makes a lot of difference. Earlier you had the C form and CS and all that, in which in C forms, people used to not give the C forms for 1 year, 2 year and all. And then the government started questioning you need to pay the differences of the C form amount and all these things used to happen. Solely because of the GST regime, which I am very, very supportive of. I feel at least it's one thing, what is going is coming. The percentages are same, but earlier when the C form things were there, it was quite different. So that I'm talking in terms of supply chain, again, product services. There will be several other government reforms which are pertaining to other industries also. So there's one more thing, MSME. We had an MSME certificate, because of which when we submit the MSME certificate, it forces the hospitals to pay you in 45 days. Okay, and then suddenly government removed that any trading and supply chain management companies will not be under MSME any longer. So these that was a thing. Now again there is a talk going on that they're bringing it back in the Udyam registration and all that. But yeah, in between this had happened that all these kind of companies which are into trading or supply chain management were removed from MSMEs. So again there was a delay in payments. So all these kind of government reforms that take place also affect a lot in your business. Competition always there, always on your head, be right from your school life to your business life. So competition is there. Sometimes it's always like good to know what others are doing more than what you are doing, because that will help you to prepare yourself. But let's not do too much into what you are doing, because then you won't focus on yourself. But otherwise, yes, competition makes a lot of difference. You will have to be ahead of your time. You will have to see that some innovation in the process of products also keep happening. Like we have around 10 to 11 years back, I had one product called as biological indicators. Today we have the 5th version of biological indicators, which is some or the other addition to the product. Like 10 to 11 years back, it used to give result in 24 hours. Today it gives result in 20 minutes. So there is some addition that we have made, or rather I have not made. I am not the manufacturer or the R&D center either. But yeah, the companies with whom I have tied up with have made it, which has indirectly helped me sell the products in the market. Natural calamities. This I have put recently because Hyderabad faced a lot of flood-like situation in just around 3-4 months back. So my stocks warehouse, one floor of it is in the cellar, and overnight it had filled up to knee level deep water. And there are about, you must be knowing the slotted angle racks. So there were about 100 racks into it with all material loaded. So we had to empty that. So a lot of all these things keep affecting you. So you have to see only one thing. What I was cool and calm about was insurance. I had an insurance for the place. So as you grow, initially you will not be able to afford all these insurances and all that. But today, all our entire stock is insured. Any stock which is in transit is insured. So on that aspect, we are much more in a safer side. But then yes, a lot of all these external factors also affect your growth. Suppose you don't have an insurance, then it will definitely follow, the loss will fall upon your head. And insurance is such a thing, like for a 1 crore stock, I am paying maybe around 45,000 a year, which is not much. So people need to also look at angles of safety in a stock intensive industry, because your bread and butter is the stock. So for that, the safety of the stock also becomes very paramount. Customer retention. I always say nowadays, more than expansion, retention has become important, because of the competition increase, changing over of products and new products coming into, competitors product coming into has become very important. So customer retention is more important. That's the reason why we have an inside sales team who's doing a lot of movement analysis, because which product has stopped where, why is there a reduction, all that information has to reach to our marketing team. So that all things help in the customer retention finally. So as a small gist of the story of what I have done is, see, when I had started earlier, people were using, any of you must have seen this, कोई भी छोटे nursing home में जाओ आप, तो you will see this green color cloth in which they put all the instruments for sterilization. And by the time the instruments are again used on any patient in the green color cloth, which are sterilized in a green color cloth, it has 50% bacteria again. So this is not really good for us, and that is the reason that the doctor will prescribe you. Even if you're going for a small wound cut and dressing, the doctor will still prescribe you antibiotics, that there should not be any infection or all these things. In foreign countries, if you see, the prescription of antibiotics is minimal, because they are there is a vast topic and subject called as antibiotic resistance, in which you need to understand that overusage of antibiotics is also bad. And one of the primitive reasons for this is the initial process of sterilization has not happened, in which case this green color cloth is one of the primitive reasons. So for me, it's a very interesting subject close to my heart. So because of it, so that's when we took a thing that infection control is a line which we intend to work into. So that time there was a lot of this sterility was not a very important subject. And the government hospitals, how they looked earlier, even today a lot of hospitals are still in that shape. There was a trend of shift to corporate hospital structure. So that's how we got into the corporate hospitals. I do a very less government hospitals. One, because there is a very lot of setup channel there. And as an entrepreneur, you need to understand that you have to feed people, but not to such an extent that you're not left with anything. So in that aspect, we try to stay away from the government run setups, and we are more into the private setups only. So we've started with a 1-room office, and my father, me, and one more guy were the only 3 employees who we were doing. And we had an office in Hyderabad, and we were catering basically only to Hyderabad initially. So this is what I told you about how the green color cloth works, and how now we have moved into this system in which you have this paper poly bags, and this ensures sterilization for 6 months. So this is a brief of how we have started. In 2010, after I came back from HCL, I joined, and this was a very small part of our business, so for me about 5,000 a month. And we entered into the corporate hospitals in 2013. We were a 2 business, which is a lot of aggressive marketing network we have developed. And we started our branch office in Calcutta in 2015, which became our East Gateway. So that office helps us supply to Bhubaneswar and Guwahati and Durgapur and all the eastern region. So last year we clocked a turnover of 10 crores, and we actually cracked some big groups like Apollo, Care. So they have pan India presence. So that helped us a lot. This is my team. Last year's photo. So that's from me. Any questions? Any questions and any suggestions? Everything?
Audience, if you have any questions, you can ask, or you can type in the chat box also.
Yeah. Thank you very much, madam, for your kind and inspiring work. Now, hello, sir.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Actually, sir, I think director sir will join later. We can start this interaction session, sir.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Then I am asking the participant, please, you can ask some your query to madam. Ashish sir.
I think lot of hello. Participants are that means planning to be an entrepreneur or planning to that means establish a startup. And here is a lady that means who has started her business and has that means developed herself, and it that means definitely that means in a positive that means slope. So if you are having that means any question, that means you are requested to that means put the question and try to that means clear the doubt that means which is in your mind.
Hello.
So I request it means everybody, so please turn on your video.
Somebody is asking question. Yes.
Yeah, there is a
Please.
yes, there is a question. There is a question from a chat box. Ma'am, can we choose a new sector? That means it is not a well-known sector to everyone.
So definitely you can choose. See, when I have chosen this sector, it was never well known. I mean, infection control 10 to 11 years back was a very primitive stage. So any sector you can choose. But again, as I said, you will have to do your own SWOT analysis as to what the product is. It providing a solution? What is the longevity of the product? What is the investment required in the product? Any sector definitely need not be that I being a computer science engineering and selling a medical product, so it's a clear example. Anybody can get into any sector. Well known or not is not important. It's the revenue that you're going to be able to generate. That is the main. If generating revenue for you to sustain the new sector, even though it is not a well-known, will not have any issues.
Madam, you are prominently emphasizing in dealing with the various kinds of the product which are available in the market, or you yourself develop and then sell, because these are the two distinct categories. That
Exactly,
first one
sir.
is development and then selling, and
Yes.
whatever it is available in the market, so it has to be appropriately managed. It
Yes.
and then it has to be as per the requirement can be given to the hospitals. So what is your emphasis that means initially, and in due course of time, if that paradigm it is get shifted, so can you emphasize on it?
Sir, when we started, like as I told you today, we have about 123 product range. But when I've started, I think I must have had only 6 to 7. And those 6 to 7 product range, there were only about maybe 1 or 2 companies in the entire India who was into those products. So it was not a something new niche thing that we developed. No, we have been into supply chain only. We do not have any R&D interest also, funds also. I mean, when you're getting into a lot of R&D or product development, you need to have that much of expertise and fund investments also for setting up laboratories and all. We were very, very strictly into supply chain management. So in which case, earlier we have taken products which were similar in the market and started up. Today, out of the products we have increased, many of them are not available yet in the market, which are exclusively to us. Again, having said that, this is not something that we have developed. The companies whom we have partnered with have developed it, and we are into supply chain of the same.
Okay, thank you.
I think, madam, yeah, madam,
Yes, sir.
I think, yeah. So really that means what the participants specifically that means wish to know. Something like this. See, she had that means already answered. The moment that means you go for developing a product, not only that means
Yes.
you require your that means some resources, rather you require that
Yes.
means some other that means essential facilities. And there is no guarantee that that means every research, product research will that means result in that means some kind of a that means a profitable product. There are that means a
Yes.
lot of examples that means in the corporate world where many of the companies that means okay worked in that means 10 different directions. 9 that means came out with that means a loser, and that means there is only one product that means which could make them that means to go for that means enough money, which is essentially made up that means all the losses they have taken place. So these are the
Correct.
things that means which are definitely there that means in the business world as well as in the corporate world. Not that every investment is going to that means give you a profit. There are every chance that some investment that means will result in that means a great loss, but other investment will that means give you enough money so that means you can make up that means whatever you have lost in another business. So any other question, please?
Sir, I can see 2 questions in the chat
Yeah,
box.
please.
One says, being a newcomer and no knowledge about the work to excel, but have a business idea to help the needy in emergency, how to start and proceed. See, you have to be clear about it, saying that if it's a service or it's a product. Product, again, new business idea. I'm always very happy with new business ideas, but again, sustainability is a very big thing. You need to understand. I'll give you a small example of someone whom I know. They had this idea because once a newborn kid is there, newborn infant is there, so you have this lot of vaccination schedules. So parents usually tend to not put it on time and all that things. So they were having a app in which once you enter, they will keep sending you reminders from the hospital, and from parents gets SMSs and all those things of remembering. So yeah, I thought it was a good idea, but then if we observe the number of hospitals which have which are more into the technology is only 10%, whereas 90% are nursing homes which are yet not upskilled in their technology. So they were not ready to use a system and keep sending reminders with that app and all that. So you need to understand that you're needy in the emergency where you are positioning it. if you're positioning it, if it's an app-based thing or something which is technological, your recipient who is there, whether they are ready to accept that kind of technical advancement that you have. If it is a corporate hospital or even a tier 2 city hospitals, yes, they might accept. But if you're talking about nursing homes and all those things and technology, they are not ready to upscale yet. So in you have an idea, but you have to see whether the recipient who is there. So that recipient ready to use it. So your customer base is going to be very important for the new business idea. One question has come is need of maintaining a diary for a successful lifestyle. Okay, I'll not say successful lifestyle. I don't maintain a diary for my lifestyle, but for my business, yes, definitely I maintain lifestyle. I am a person who very bored to write my lifestyle on the diary. But yeah, for the business requirement, I mean. Close to 300 clients and each client has its own requirements, so for that thing we start off with what exactly is the requirement, which day it has to be completed and all that. One more method that I am using is like my entire team, what is there, so I keep a page for each one of them, so in which I put it that with each person what work I have. So I try to maintain that. So I remember I see the person or I meet him, I have a meeting with that person. That's when I complete all the aspects that time. What are the things should we develop during this 4 year of engineering so that it will be benefiting us if we start up or business? Engineering product, if you're interested to go for a technical start, then definitely your product development has to start in your engineering level only. It is a time when you will be having an access to a lot of resources, your professors, business community, your alumni, all that, so all these things will be there. So considering my husband's company, they are into this 3D printing lab setups and all that. So in Hyderabad they have partnered in around two companies, two colleges, where it's almost serving like an incubation center. So your initial product development and all can definitely your engineering time. With all the resources that exist with you, it will definitely be a very, very big boon for you. Marketing
Yes.
and all that aspect, I will still say a formal MBA always makes a lot of difference. The entire process is different. I mean, reading some books about Butler for the marketing and all, but still a 2 year entire full-time MBA process changes your perspective.
Any other question?
I think, sir, Fazal sir.
Yeah. Okay.
Sir,
Carry on,
there
please.
is no question.
Okay.
Sir, actually, there is no question, I think. Then we can wait for director, sir, or we can concluding remarks, sir.
Just you do one thing. Just let us see whether director sir can join or not. Like just wait for a minute.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much, madam, for your kind words, and I
Yes,
am
sir.
sure it will inspire our participant. And when this pandemic situation fully over, then we will invite you to visit our institute, madam. Okay, I
Surely,
think
sir.
in this time, November, December, I think it will be over completely. So
Yes.
from this institute side, I will invite you to
Sure,
at
sir.
least to visit our institute and give some inspiring talk to our students so that they can benefit it. And we are just now, actually, madam, today there is some sports day in our institute. So
Okay.
director sir from HSC, he went to this sports ground.
Okay,
That's
okay,
why
okay.
we are just waiting.
Not an issue at all, sir. Yeah. Sure, sir.
Subrata, I think I am,
Yes, sir.
I'm unable to that means connect with the director. I believe that means since the event is that means already over and he's still there in that particular meeting. So let us that means conclude. We will that means communicate the findings and a brief report to him regarding the event. So before that
Yes,
means
sir.
all are requested to please turn on your that means a video for a photo session.
And Devar sir, please make a snapshot.
Naresh sir is doing, so he will.
So just
Naresh sir,
Yes, yes, yes.
please.
So all of you, please turn on your video.
please turn on your
Reddy,
video, please.
Animesh, Amar Kumar.
Please turn on your video.
Syed Hussain, please turn on your video. Vera sir, please turn on your video.
Oh, sorry. I forget it.
Okay, Pranjal Song. Subrata, please turn on your video.
Yes, sir. Kuldeep, so please turn on your video. Kuldeep, so
Okay, sir.
Done.
Done. It is done. Vera sir, you can conclude.
yeah. Okay, thank you, Naresh Babu. Now,
Yeah, just 1 minute.
concluding
The
remarks.
director sir will be joining. Hello, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
Sir, আপনি কি জয়েন করবেন? ওটা শেষ হয়ে
Hello,
গেছে
sir.
ইভেন্টটা। হ্যাঁ, প্রোগ্রামটা প্রায় ক্লোজিং এর পথে, আপনি জাস্ট যদি হ্যাঁ স্যার 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 হ্যাঁ ঠিক আছে আপনি যখন লক করে নিন ইয়া সো ইয়া ওকে হ্যাঁ Naresh Babu
Sir.
yeah Director sir is just joining, he will give the concluding remark.
Okay, sir.
So Director and IT feature is also requested to please stand up and okay, he will deliver the concluding remarks.
Samir has joined.
Subrato, please make a request to director, sir.
Yes, sir. Sir, sir is joined. Hello, sir. Sir, good morning, sir. On behalf of
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
good morning. Sir, on behalf of the organizing team, Institute Universal Cell, I am heartily welcome you, sir, in this session. We just finished one session, Madam Ruchita Desai, he just finished it talk. Now I would request you, sir, to give you some few words to this session.
Okay, very
Good morning, sir.
obviously at the normal custom is at the beginning of the talk supposed to join, but I was busy in another program, so I could not. Now, in any way, that is in respect to the national education policy, and in fact, the way we visualize education system is that not every student need to join a company. Not every pass out student need to be looking for a higher education. Every pass out student, and I should say there will be some students always will pursue so the business to start with. So we understand that is the students, they nurture these idea within themselves. And in these days also, we see that many of the faculty members, they are also nurturing this idea. And the current regulations, they allow us, the faculties to this business. Now, for everything to succeed, for a business model to succeed, there are stepping stones. There are many things to be learned. Not those have gone the actual experience, they can share. That is the positive step you have been able to take. The fall experience, identifying say what can be the possible areas that the entrepreneurship can be initiated. Is a continuous kind of activity, and I thank Madam Desai for sharing her experiences with our students and the faculty members today, and also thank the young organizing faculty members initiative to organize programs, so that the entrepreneurship mind in the students and as well as in faculty members that gets boosted up, and so that is the reason why this program is being sponsored, that is organized by Institute Innovation Cell. So the entrepreneurship concept falls under that NITS-IIC council also. So I wish that the program will really be successful when we see that some students, some faculty members, they take up the initiative to have their own entrepreneurship model developed, and by sharing of experiences, so learn a lot of things more. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, thank you, sir, for your kind, inspiring word. And now I also thank you, sir, for this financial and administrative approval for conducting this session. I also thank you, this President, Institute Innovation Cell, Professor Fajol A. Talukdar, sir, for so many suggestions. And also I thank you to Dr. Naresh Babu for conducting this WebEx and YouTube link and its cooperation. Also, I will thank our whole IIC team, especially Dr. Vipul Das and Dr. Naresh Singh. Sorry, Jogesh Singh, to help me a lot to conduct this session. Also, I thank our entire team to successfully conduct this event. Now, I request, sir, if you give this permission, then I close this session. I request to director, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir, for your kind words.
Thank
So
you
now
all. Thank
I
you
will-
all for that, Mr. joining the event.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, madam, also to conducting such type of interactive session and this such type of speech. And I hope, madam, when this pandemic situation is completely over, then we will sure visit our institute and give some talk to our students so that they will benefit. Okay. Thank you, madam. Okay. So now I close this session. Thank you.